Hello learners, I am Dr. Manish Kumar Bhardwaj from School of Engineering and Technology of IGNOU, and today I'll discuss with you physical infrastructure for sewerage systems. What I'll cover in this lecture? I'll cover in this lecture two things basically: the need for physical infrastructure for sewerage systems, and second, what are different types of sewerage systems. So two things I'll discuss with you. The learning outcomes for this lecture are that after going through this lecture, you should be able to explain the need for the physical infrastructure for sewerage systems, and second, you should be able to describe different types of sewerage systems. So let us begin with the need for physical infrastructure for sewerage systems. So when we use water, then wastewater is generated. Whether we are using for drinking purpose, whether we are using for bathing, for washing, whether we are using it in kitchen, whether we are using in toilets, whether we are using in commercial establishments or some industries or hospitals, wherever we are using water, then wastewater is generated. And this wastewater is polluted water, dirty water. If we are not dealing it with properly, if we are not doing the collection and disposal of this water properly, then it will cause many problems. So to avoid such problems, we need the physical infrastructure for sewerage system basically. What may be the problems? The problems may be that if we leave this water as it is, it will do flooding basically. Flooding on the streets, flooding on the roads, flooding in the compounds of the residential buildings. Second thing, the odor. Because it's a polluted water, it have organic materials basically. So it causes bad odor, foul odor. So which creates a very filthy scene. Nobody likes the bad odor or the foul smell. Then third problem is that if this polluted water infiltrates into the ground, then it causes two problems. First of all, it is polluting our groundwater source, and along with this will also cause the soil contamination if our wastewater is very polluted, if it is toxic basically, because wastewater from many industries is very toxic. So if this toxic wastewater infiltrates into the soil, basically into the ground, then it will cause the soil contamination also, in addition to the pollution of the groundwater source basically. Then this will cause serious effect on the public safety and health and environment, and ultimately on the economy. Because if our health is affected, if our environment is affected, then certainly it is going to cost us financially also. Then second thing is that, so that way it is necessary to have a sewerage system which guarantee its long-term functioning and survival even in vulnerabilities and other crisis situations. So this is the reason why we need the physical infrastructure for sewerage systems. Now, what are some important terms in sewerage systems basically? Some few important terms are, first of all, sewage. What is sewage basically? So sewage is the liquid waste which is generated by domestic uses in houses, commercial and industrial premises. This is sewage. Then another term which is very common in wastewater treatment and collection and disposal is the sewerage. So these two terms sounds somewhat similar basically, but these are two different things basically. Whereas sewage is a wastewater, sewerage is basically, it indicates various structures, equipments, pumps, pipes and appurtenances for the collection, transportation and pumping of sewage, and it excludes the treatment works, means all the units which are used in the treatment of wastewater. We are excluding this. Only collection and transportation. Basically, the things which are systems are used for collection and the transportation of the wastewater. Basically, that all these structures or appurtenances, these are called as the sewerage. So this is the difference between the sewage and the sewerage. Then third term, which is somewhat similar again, is sewer. Sewer is pipeline basically. It's a closed underground conduit or pipeline used to carry sewage from collection point to the disposal or the treatment plant. Collection point means the houses or residential premises or commercial premises or industries basically, that are the collection points. And the disposal point or the treatment plant, because there may be two situations, that you are disposing it without treatment, then that point will be disposal point. It may be some water source, water body like river or something, or a drain basically. And second thing is a treatment plant, that when we are going to treat the wastewater, then it has to be transported to the treatment plant basically. So that is the disposal point. Along with these three terms, there are some few more terms. Then fourth term is domestic sewage. Sewage may be of two types basically, rather three types basically: domestic sewage, sanitary sewage or industrial sewage, depending upon the source of generation. That what is the source of generation of this sewage? So if we talk about the domestic sewage, then it is the liquid waste or wastewater basically, which is generated from the domestic use of water. What are these domestic use? Like lavatory basins, urinals, water closets in a residential building, offices, theaters, or some other institutions, educational institutions maybe. So this is domestic sewage. Second is sanitary sewage. What is sanitary sewage? It is the liquid waste generated from community, which is domestic as well as the industrial. It consists of mostly the two types of water. One is grey water, means which is generated from cloth washing, gardening, car washing, bathtubs, sinks, kitchen wash basins, etc. And also the black water, means water used to flush in toilets and human waste which get flushed away basically. So that way, grey water plus the black water, this makes the sanitary sewage. Then third one is the industrial sewage. So as it is clear from its name, it is a liquid waste water generated by means of activities in industries and commercial establishments, which contain various organic and inorganic pollutants that may not be amenable to conventional treatment methods basically. So this is the industrial sewage. So you come across three types of sewages: domestic sewage, and then sanitary sewage, then industrial sewage. So all this type of sewage makes the sewage which has to be properly dealt, properly collected, transported, then treated and then disposed of basically. So this is the problem which we have to tackle really. Then what are different types of sewerage systems? Sewerage systems, as you have understood till now, that sewerage systems is the system which collects and transport the wastewater. So what are different type of systems here? We use three type of systems for collection and transportation basically. What are these three types? One is separate sewerage system, second one is combined sewerage system, and third one is partially separate sewerage system. So what are these? We will see one by one. First, the separate system, separate sewerage system. So as the name indicates basically, here two different sewerage systems or pipelines, pipe system is installed. One is for sanitary and industrial waste, and the second type of water is basically the storm water or the rainwater, because we have to collect and transport and dispose this water also. Otherwise it gets accumulated at some point and it will cause shabby scenes and also may cause the breeding point for mosquitoes, which causes lot many diseases. So just to avoid such situation basically, we have to collect, transport and dispose of the storm water or the rainwater also. And so a system in which we are having the pipes and conduits separately for our sanitary sewage and the industrial sewage, and second system for our rainwater or storm water, then we call it as a separate system. As you can see in this graphics, so here there are two separate systems. One is for sanitary or the industrial sewage, which is shown in yellow color basically here, yellow pipelines, and another one is for the storm water, which is blue pipeline you see. So for this storm water basically, this can be, because it is not polluted, so this can be directly disposed of to some water body like a river basically. But this sanitary sewage, it is a polluted water, so we cannot directly dispose of into the river, because otherwise the river water will be polluted. So first it will be collected and sent to some treatment plant. There it will be treated, then it will be then disposed of finally into the river. So this is the separate system basically. What are the situations in which this separate system is adopted basically? So the situations in which we can adopt the separate sewerage system are, first of all, that uneven rainfall. When the uneven rainfall is there basically throughout the year, means at some time there is no rainfall, at some point of time there is an excess of rainfall, or there are chances of some heavily concentrated rainfall events basically. So in that case what happens that for some time, for a small time basically, there is a lot of water is there which has to be tackled. Otherwise for rest of the year, a small amount of wastewater or the sewage is generated which have to be tackled throughout the year. So in this case, when the rainwater or storm water is for some small amount of time is there, so for that matter we cannot go for a combined system. Combined system, what is that combined system is? It is that sewerage system in which the sewage and that rainwater both are tackled, collected and taken, transported to some point, disposal point basically. Means a single pipe is used for sewage as well as for the storm or the rainwater. So but when we are dealing these two type of waters combined basically, then in that case we have to design a large size of pipes basically, or the sewers. We will need a large size, large diameter sewers basically. So which is a very costly affair, because that pipes are costly, and along with that placing them underground basically it becomes costly, because we have to dig deep for larger size of sewers or the pipes basically. So that way it is a costly affair. So And when we are having a situation when throughout the year there is an uneven amount of sewage is generated, because rainfall is for some small amount of time, basically it is not uniform throughout the year basically. So in that case, designing a combined sewer is costly. So that way, in such situation, this separate sewerage system is good enough. Second situation is the separate outlet for sewage and stormwater. So if we are having a facility that stormwater can be disposed of to some water body and sewage can be treated in the treatment plant, then only it can be disposed of to water body, then having a separate sewerage system is a good option basically. Otherwise, we can go for the combined system. Then third thing is pumping requirement. Because if we are having some area in which we are not getting a proper slope or gradient for laying the pipes basically, then what happens that pumping of sewage becomes necessary. So if the combined sewerage system is designed, then the amount of sewage becomes more, because we are adding the rainwater or the storm water also into the sewage basically. So there pumping of large amount of sewage has to be done. So just to avoid this situation that we do not want to pump large amount of sewage, because again it will cost us. So that way it is better that we keep the two systems separate. The sewage is collected separately and storm water is dealt separately. Then only small amount of sewage has to be pumped. So that way it will reduce the cost basically. Then next situation is limitation of available funds. If we are not having enough fund, then it is better to go for the separate system, because combined system needs more cost, more finances. So that way, if we are having lack of funds, then it is better to design a separate sewerage system. Then flat topography. Another situation is flat topography. So separate sewers can be laid in a flat topography more easily, as deep and large excavation are not required in a flat topography. If it is a uneven topography, then we need large cutting actually and excavations, so which will cost more. Sewers can be built at a small depth below the ground to achieve uniform gradient, and thus it is economical when compared to the combined sewers, as the combined sewer require large size sewers. So that way, in case of flat topography, it is better to adopt or better to go for the separate sewerage systems. So these are the situations basically. Few more situations are also there. Subsoil condition. It would be difficult and costly to lay a combined sewer of large size if subsoil material is hard. Because in rocky area, cutting that rocks to lay a large size sewer in case of combined system, it will cost more basically. So in such situation, it is better to have separate sewerage system, because we can easily dispose our rainwater or that storm water through open drains, and for a small amount of sewage we can design the small size sewers. So cutting of that soil will be less, so it will cost less. Another is steep topography. If the area possesses steep slopes, it would be easier to convey storm water or the rainwater through the open drains to the natural stream or river. Hence a separate system is adopted in case of steep topography also. So these are some of the situations which favor the use or adoption of the separate sewerage systems. Then let us go to the combined sewerage system. As it is clear from its name, here we are having only one pipe or one conduit for both sewage as well as the storm or the rainwater. A combined sewerage system is designed to carry domestic and industrial sewage as well as the storm water or the rainwater. As you can see here, that only one pipe is used basically, and whenever large storm water is there, so there in that situation, in case of heavy rains, instead of sending that combined sewage to the treatment plant, we can divert directly it to the river or the water body, because in that case, when that large amount of storm is there or the rainwater is there, it dilutes the sewage. So there are less chances of pollution of the river water in that case. So in case of heavy storms, we can directly divert the combined sewage to the river or the water body. Otherwise, this combined sewage will go to the, in normal cases, it will go to the treatment plant where it will be treated, and only when this reaches the safe limits of that permitted levels basically, then only after treatment it will be disposed of into the river or the water body. All the wastewater carried will be collectively transported to the sewage treatment plant before the final disposal, where it will be treated, as I told you. This system is mainly used in towns where streets are narrow and rainfall is less than the moderate. So this is the situation where we can use the combined sewerage system. Then what are the advantages of combined sewerage system? Let us see the advantages. The maintenance and operation cost of this combined system will be less, as system require only one set of sewer. This proves to be economical. Chances of choking are less, as sewers are bigger in size, and also it is easy to clean the sewers. A properly constructed combined system provides high level of comfort and hygiene. It is even more secure because sewage is transported through closed sewers without overflowing to the environment. That sewage is not exposed to the environment. It does not cause any foul smell, or it is not spilled over on the streets or the roads also, because it is being carried through the closed pipes. Then the strength of sewage is reduced by dilution due to the storm water. Now because here we are carrying sewage and the rainwater, so rainwater dilutes the strength of the sewage basically, concentration level of the sewage. So this helps to make the treatment process easier and more economical, because this process of treatment of sewage basically that depends upon that what is the concentration of the sewage. If the concentration of sewage is more, so lot many treatment will be required, lot many processes will be required, and that cost of treatment will also be more basically in that case. If it is diluted, this can easily be treated basically. In this system, automatic flushing is provided by the storm water, because this sewage is carrying some solid matter also, so that flushing of the pipes is also required basically. Otherwise, if the solid matter settles in the pipes, so it will cause the choking of the pipes. So to avoid the choking of pipes, a natural flushing occurs here basically, because of that rainwater or the storm water is also carried in through these pipes basically. Then this is a relatively simple system of collection of sewage, and also in this system house plumbing is economical. So these are the advantages of combined system. There are some disadvantages also of the combined system. Because of the large size of sewers, their handling and transportation will be difficult. Due to the inclusion of stormwater or rainwater, treatment works of larger size will be required, and also the treatment units will be heavily loaded. If pumping is required for lifting of sewage at treatment works, the system will prove to be uneconomical, both from the point of view of capital cost, means installation of the machines and pumps, as well as from the point of view of the running cost. So both way it will be uneconomical in that case. So these are the disadvantages of the combined sewerage system. So we discussed the need of the sewerage system, and we also discussed about that type of sewerage systems, in which I discussed the two types basically, separate sewage system and the combined sewage system. So I hope you must have enjoyed this discussion, and I expect from you that you will go through the course material that is provided to you to gain or acquire a deeper knowledge about these concepts. Thank you.